Mr. Secretary, I appreciate your commitment to reforming our federal rental assistance programs. The current system, as you've already articulated, is rife with inefficiency. The administration's request proposes placing the major HUD rental assistance programs, tenant-based, project-based, public housing, into a single state rental assistance block grant program that you referenced in your opening. This is a substantial change to business as usual. Now, as we consider this proposal, I want to make sure that we're good stewards of taxpayer dollars while still meeting our obligation to help those most in need. I'd also note that an overhaul of these programs would need the work of the authorizing committee, that of financial services. I support reforms that promote work, that reduce dependency, and give state and local governments more control, but I want to ensure that we're not creating gaps that could lead to increased homelessness or hardship for vulnerable populations. So, Mr. Secretary, can you kind of walk us through the concept on how proposed block grant programs like this would maintain assistance to the approximate 10 million Americans currently served by these programs?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for your question. As you stated, and I stated in my opening remarks, status quo is not good enough. And the way that we've been going about serving the American people from a HUD perspective is no longer good enough. And so with this new paradigm, it is indeed a paradigm shift, it's a culture shift. The goal here is not to serve less Americans. The goal here is to serve Americans better. And so to give states an opportunity to have skin in the game, to identify their unique needs, and then to be very deliberative about how they put the resources out as it pertains to rental assistance, as it pertains to taking care of the most vulnerable in their state. And there is a focus in this budget, Mr. Chairman, to take care of the elderly and those that are disabled. And when you look at HUD, HUD has had record funding over the past few years. In the last 8 years, HUD's budget went from $42 billion to $77 billion, and yet HUD lost focus of its most basic mission. We are only able currently to serve 1 out of 4 eligible families at HUD, and that's unacceptable when you have a $70 to $77 billion budget. And so this is a paradigm shift. Playing in the NFL and playing in sports, when you have a playbook and you're running plays that are not working, the best teams that I've seen are those that go in, they make adjustments, say, well, we can no longer run this play because it's causing us to lose. So let's run a new play. Let's reimagine what we're doing. I don't like to lose, Mr. Chairman and ranking member. I don't like to lose, and I don't like the American people to lose. And so we have to do something different in this country. It's not about just throwing money at situations. It's about what do we do with the money that we have to best serve effectively and efficiently the people of our country. And that's my mindset. That's my heart. It's not about the money for me. It's about the people. And we're returning HUD to that focus, mission-minded. We understand what our call is. We understand who we've been called to serve. And we understand the critical mission. And so at HUD currently, that's what we're focused on.
So when to use a football vernacular, when we break huddle on this block grant program, what conditions will be in place? What will you do to ensure that we have adequate service levels for, you mentioned the elderly, for the disabled, people that are very vulnerable in their lives? What assurances do we have? What can we do to ensure that there's a service level that is fitting for these individuals?
Thank you, sir. And that's a great question. So in this SRAP, State Rental Assistance Program, there is money in the budget from our PD&R program office at HUD to make sure that we work with states to implement an appropriate strategy, and also to work with you and your colleagues on this committee to make sure that this strategy is serving the most vulnerable in our country. HUD is a great facilitator of this, and we're very focused. And as you see in the budget, there's money set aside so that we don't just say there's a new program, but we can say this is how we're going to join in with states and join in with stakeholders to implement and execute this program. And so those conversations have begun and will continue, and we welcome your input, you and your colleagues' input, to make sure that this new strategy works effectively for the people we serve.
Thank you, sir.